Hi, I'm Tori. I'm so sorry. I had a technical issue. My sound just kept coming like I could hear myself talking. So I'm restarting the live. Hopefully we won't have any more sound issues. So today I'm going to show you how I do heatless socks method on my fine wavy hair. As with any heatless method, any at all, there are always loads of different ways to do it. So I'm just going to kind of show you my 3 favourite ways, I would say. So fingers crossed this will be helpful. I am such a fan of heatless methods. I think that they are just so brilliant, particularly for wavy hair. They work really well on wavy hair because generally our hair texture will hold a heatless method. So before I ever start doing anything heatless, I will always generally brush my hair a little bit. And before I do that, I always like to add an oil. I don't believe in it's not that I don't believe, I just don't follow curly hair rules. I have wavy hair and I have found that actually brushing my hair is quite a good thing. A couple of reasons why. If it gets tangled, it's only going to get worse, so I like to make sure I've got rid of tangles. But also it's a really good way to refresh my hair and kind of give it back a little bit of volume and life. So when you're doing a heatless method, it is quite good or quite handy to have hair that's on the smoother side. So I will always add an oil because it'll help smooth frizz and it just helps the brush sort of slip through without doing any damage. By the way, any questions at all at any point, please let me know. It's so lovely to have the opportunity to actually have a chat rather than just kind of post a video and then obviously chat in comments. It's nice to be able to have a chat live. Hi Lou, nice to meet you. So yeah, please, anything at all. And if obviously at any stage you want me to repeat a little bit of the section or go over things again, then of course we can do that, because it's live and you know I actually get some feedback, which is really nice. Hi Amy, I appreciate the young lady, that's a very nice thing to call me. Okay, so let's talk oils first. I have a load of different favourites. Probably my go-to is this one from Olaplex. The reason I really love it so much is a little goes a long way. So although this is, I appreciate, on the pricier side, I have had this, I mean, probably a year, I think. And as you can see, I still have not finished it yet. It's so good at taming frizz, but it is super lightweight. And if, like me, you have got fine hair, you will know how easy it is to weigh down your waves. So I do really like that one because it is lightweight. It really adds shine. It really helps tame frizz. It's just a really good all-rounder. However, it is not budget friendly. I have recently started using this one from Eliza Becker, which they do an amazing protein treatment, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try one out. Plus I had a subscriber who has naturally, I think, silver hair, and Olaplex discoloured discoloured her naturally silver hair because it was yellow. Which apparently is quite a common problem when I started looking into it for her. So this one is also obviously completely colour free, it's just clear. So I thought, oh, this might be a good option. This is thicker than Olaplex. I'm not comparing them and saying, you know, they're similar in texture and so on, but it is absolutely amazing at adding shine and breaking a cast, so breaking any kind of gel cast. It's really good for detangling, but it is much thicker, so I have to be a little bit careful about how much I use on this one. And I guess some of kind of, that stuff smells like eggs. I told my girlfriend no more. Which smells like eggs? This one? I don't get eggs out of either of these, I have to say, Zachary, but okay. Smell is subjective, I guess. Yeah, so with this one, I have to be a little bit careful about how much you use. And this is sometimes kind of where I think price points kind of differ. Obviously, some of the money has gone into the packaging with this one. It's got a really tiny hole kind of where the oil comes out and you get a really small amount dispensed, which is good because you don't want to weigh down your hair. Whereas this one, it's quite sort of plasticky. You can't really control how much comes out. but I think in comparison, like this is over £20 and this one I think cost me around £5 or £6. So I just have to sometimes dispense it and sort of rub it between my fingers and even sometimes wipe some off on a towel. But those are really lovely options. If you've got much thicker hair, and probably not silver because again this one's yellow, this was an amazing find in Aldi. And this I use generally just on, say, day 3 or day 4, high up the villa, because it really helps with frizz. So it's a really nice kind of thick, sort of quite decadent, quite opulent. It's got a lovely smell. But if you've got thick, coarse hair, I think that would be a particularly good option for you. But today, what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of oil before I brush. I am going to go in. Oh, actually, there was one last one I wanted to mention. It's this one from Shire. So if you've got even finer hair than mine, hi, Fitty Edit, sorry, I was not ignoring you. I'm sorry if I have missed your comment. I can't see it, but hello everyone. Thank you for subbing up the villa. That's amazing, much appreciated. Yeah, this one is incredible if you have really, really fine hair and you find any oil weighs down your hair. This one is from a Polish brand. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think it's Shire. I love another one of their products is their protein mask. That's really, really good. But this is a light spray. It's incredible. Absolutely beautiful stuff. It's so lightweight. It won't weigh down your hair in any way whatsoever. So to do this routine, what I'm going to do is just clip this section away to begin with, and I am going to add a little bit of oil just to this side, and I'm going to go in with Olaplex. So literally I'm just going to do a drop and a half, and I'm just going to smooth that over my hair. Thanks, Amy. I'm just ignoring it now. It's flipping ridiculous, honestly. In 2025, somebody asking to see your melons on a live. I mean, geez Louise. Much appreciated for the comment, Amy. Okay, so I've smoothed that through, and then I'm just going to really gently brush. And like I said, with the heatless method, particularly with the socks, because of how it's done, you kind of want your hair on the smoother side. Now, I have absolutely air dried before and done this. It will leave a really, really beautiful shape. But I just find if it's on the smoother side, it is kind of better. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same on this side. And the reason I clip it is really just to make sure I get good distribution. Otherwise, sometimes I find all the product goes onto one side and not the other. Okay, again, just going to brush this through. So, there are probably 3 different ways that I generally do this technique. And I thought I would start by showing you one where you actually use the sock to kind of create a really, really pretty face frame. Then another where you'd use the socks just on the lower part of your hair. And then finally, one where you can kind of combine 2 different techniques to give you really beautiful face frame, but also the waves from the socks. This, I find, is one of the most uniform heatless methods. So let's start off with kind of a face frame. Obviously, you're going to need a pair of socks. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, what kind you use. I just find now I've got slightly longer hair that I do need a decent length of sock so that you can wrap all your hair. And it is handy to clip the other side out of the way. So I wear a centre parting, so I'm just going to do mine straight down the middle. And then, like, these are my favourite probably. It's just a tube sock. But I do also find my tennis socks are really good for this as well, because they're a bit longer. Okay, so now I'm just going to clip. You want the toe part at the top of your head. So I'm just going to clip that as close to my parting as possible, but without using too much of the sock. And then to create the face frame, you're going to take a small section. And so you're now going to just lift up the sock and bring it back round to the front. Hi Carol, Video story gives me inspiration to try and get wavy hair method. Nice to disheartening. Oh, it is so disheartening. It is. Wavy hair is the best and also can be the worst sometimes. So I completely feel you, Carol. And that's lovely. I'm so glad that you love my videos. That's really lovely to hear, and also that it's inspired you to keep going. So yeah, please do. There are so many different ways we can wear our hair when it's wavy. So yeah, stick with it. Any specific problems, Carol, that you're struggling with, please let me know, and I will see if I can help you. Okay, so I've taken that one small piece round the front, round the sock and back round the front, and then I'm just going to pick up another piece. So if you know how to French braid, which I am not good at, by the way, you can find this probably easier than I do, but you then now have all of that hair together. So I've picked up that bit at the front, added it in, coming around the sock, and then usually I just do this 3 times, but I've done quite small sections, but now I'm still going to just do a third piece. So sort of from the ear, I go in with my finger, just pick up another piece of hair and come back round over the top of the sock, hope you can see that, and then back under. And that just takes all of that front section and it's going to give it a little bit more of a shape, a little bit more of a wave. And then literally all you need to do, can you see that bit of hair there? That should have been clipped on the other side, I can just tell, so I'm just going to take it across. Is you just grab all of the hair now and you want to wrap all of this around the sock. So it is a really nice, simple thing to do. So you just take it around, and this is, you can see straight away, like this is why I could do with a slightly longer sock. It would just make life a little bit easier. Oh, by the way, if you're in the UK, I hope you had a lovely Mother's Day, because it is Mother's Day in the UK today. I spent a good part of the day with my mum. I made her some chocolate brownies, we went round, had some lunch, it was very lovely. But yeah, happy Mother's Day, everybody. So you just keep taking the hair around the sock. It's really as simple as that. You kind of don't need to sort of keep taking it downwards. I do sometimes just go over the top of the hair. It doesn't really matter. And I have tried leaving this end out and wrapping it round, and I actually find that wrapping it all the way around, not leaving it out, gives a better, prettier finish. So just make sure that's all tucked. Then this is when you could like do with the third hand. Take the clip out, you kind of want to hold on to this piece and then bend it sort of back on itself slightly. So it's now sitting like that. And then this is where you then need to kind of hold all that together. This is the trickiest part. And then just bring this bit, so your hand's now in the end of the sock, and bring it forward, and then you just tuck everything in like that. And that honestly is so, so simple to do, I promise. If I can do it, you can, because I'm useless at sectioning and like French braiding and all the rest of it. Now, the one thing I can tell you straight away is this is definitely too tight for me. So I then just make sure that I loosen this off a little bit, just by kind of pulling the hair very gently back out, particularly that front section. I don't like it to be too tight around there. And also I don't want tension on my hair, because when you have tension, you can obviously create breakage, which after 2 years almost, I guess, of kind of being on a healthy hair journey, that is the last thing that I want to do. The whole point, obviously, when you're doing a heatless method is you're not using heat, you're trying to reduce damage. So, and that's it. That is method 1. You're going to get a really pretty face frame, and then you're going to get some really lovely uniform waves and curls. So the difference on this side, I will keep this one in place for a little bit, is I will quite often not really do anything with the front section. So I will just literally tuck this part behind my ear. I've only recently actually had my hair cut, so I did have sort of pieces that kind of came down to probably about this length, and that's when they did really need a bit more shaping. So to try and give me some shape around my face, I would do that. But I will quite often actually just tuck this piece behind my ear. If needed, I would use one of these creaseless clips and just make sure I've got it in the right way. Pop that there just to hold the hair in place. I always like to bring it forward a little bit and create like a bit of volume. And then gather up all of this side, and this is probably even easier, to be honest, because all you're going to do, sometimes I've seen people like hold them in their mouth, but I don't know, I just don't love doing that. So I generally do always use a clip, pop the clip there, and then take the sock behind the hair, make sure you've got it all, and then just start wrapping. And that is it. Again, just kind of making sure you've got all of the hair coming around the sock. And it doesn't matter if it goes on top of it, if you start to run out of sock. And then just slide the clip out. And this time, instead, I've just kind of brought this one round. Maybe I didn't show that properly. So just bring it round to the front, put your hands up in there again, and it folds onto itself really nicely. And I do take the clip out because obviously quite often I would then sleep in these. And that is probably my favourite method, because I still get this lovely like smoothness up here. I'm not somebody who's looking to achieve tons and tons of volume, to be honest. I like kind of a smooth look and then waves down here, and that is what this gives you. And it's comfortable to sleep in. If you're a side sleeper, you might struggle a little bit more, but because this one's low down, it's not too bad sleeping like this. So yeah, I actually find it quite comfortable. This one is not as comfy. So yeah, if you're a side sleeper, I'd probably go for this option. So those are the two main methods. However, there is one more where I kind of combined like a heatless blowout with socks. I mean, straight away you can even see that was in for like minutes, and it has actually created quite a pretty shape already. And so you combine the heatless socks method with a foam roller at the front to create more of a face frame. So to do that, first I just take the pieces that I want to include in the foam roller, sort of section it off towards kind of my ear. I'll just clip the rest of my hair out of the way. And the ones that I like to use are these here. They're from Kitsch. They are so easy to use. They've got a satin finish, so they're nice and easy to kind of like get in and out of your hair. They won't create frizz or anything like that. And then to do that, I just brush this whole section forward and then pop the foam roller underneath that section, and then I just slide it down right to the end and then work it back up, just trying to keep everything really smooth. And then these just have little poppers on them, so once you get to the top and everything's in place, that's it, job done. And then honestly, this is what I love about the heatless socks method. It's just so simple, because now I would just do what I did a minute ago on this side. So rough sectioning down the back, just gently brush again, take the sock, clip it in place, and all this does, the difference is by creating like more of a section here, is you're going to get that really lovely sort of flick and face frame, which I just think is really flattering. Just gives a little bit more shape, but as I say, it's like completely optional. It's just something I tried once and I really liked the results. And so then I just go round and round again, keep going. Take out the clip, just pull this one round, try and hold it all together, and into the sock, and then back on itself, and then that just holds it in place. I mean, I know it doesn't look amazing now, but tomorrow morning it would be amazing. Now, in terms of, one other thing I didn't mention actually is I don't have any hold product in my hair whatsoever. I'm somebody who much prefers my hair to feel soft and touchable than I do have my results last days and days and days. Because I feel like if you want to refresh, you could just put the method back in and it will kind of, you know, reinvigorate it. But if you're somebody who really appreciates, you know, your style lasting like 3, 4, 5 days or whatever, what I'd recommend is before you dry your hair, or if like today you've already styled, it's day 2 maybe, just dampen down your hair ever so slightly and then add either a mousse if that's your preferred or a gel. You definitely don't need kind of multiple hold products, but just something to give you that little bit of hold so that the style lasts even longer. The other thing is, if you find they don't last as long as you would like, I would do them overnight. However, for me, I find a couple of hours is more than enough time. So quite often I would do this first thing in the morning, before I was going out, you know, whatever. I would just make sure I had 2 hours to keep this in. I'll be honest, I'm not one of those people that's like going out looking like this. I've seen girls at train stations, you know, with their heatless methods in, and I think fair play. I'm not sure I want to go out with socks in my hair, but maybe that's my issue. Okay. So yeah, couple of hours and I will definitely have a really, really good shape. I mean, honestly, that looks absolutely bananas. There is a reason that I do this at night or in the privacy of my own home. But last thing to point out is if I was actually going to bed now, I would pop on my satin bonnet or a satin scarf just to protect everything. I would kind of wrap it round. I think, to be honest, with these like little extra ears that I've got going on, I would probably use a satin scarf because it's a little bit more flexible than trying to get this up into a bonnet. But this is how I would either stay for a couple of hours, I honestly look so bananas, or I would go to bed. And then in the morning, you obviously just need to undo everything. So you just take everything out. And my best tip for the first thing in the morning is just let everything settle. So it can sometimes look a bit all over the place. I know when you sort of see it on social media, they seem to kind of like look amazing straight away. But in my experience with my frizz prone, fine wavy hair, first thing in the morning, sometimes you take out the heatless method and it looks a bit frizzy, or you've got kind of like kinks and curls all over the place. The best thing is just to let everything to settle for a little bit. You might like want to shake it up slightly, just kind of like brush your fingertips through, perhaps even add a tiny bit of oil. I love to brush mine out, but I like quite a big voluminous look. But just give yourself a good 10 or 15 minutes before you start touching and kind of thinking, oh God, it hasn't worked, I need to do an updo. And that's it. Those are the 3 different techniques that I would use with heatless socks. I love it, it's so simple, and you've already got, I'm pretty sure, a pair of socks that you can use to create this look. So I hope that has been a helpful live. No questions that I can see, so I will say goodbye and thank you. Thanks, Amy. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. I will see you again soon. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Bye.